Good morning and welcome to the Endurance Explorer YouTube channel, episode 2. I am filming live from my spare room this morning, which is the location for today's video, as it is doubled up as a spine operations room, shall we call it, for the last few months. So all my kit's in here. It's 7 days now till I set off on the spine. This time in 7 days I will be 3.5 hours in. So yes, we need to pack. So obviously I've been packing my spine pack that I've been carrying over the last few weeks religiously, unpack, pack, just to see if I can get it right and get used to where stuff is and what it feels like on my back. But today's mainly the drop bag, which stuff just collects and collects and collects, but you've got to pack it at some point, so I've taken advantage of today. As you can see, it's not the best weather to be out in, so a bit too much risk than reward for going out in that a week before you take on something like the spine. So I've decided today was the day to do the kit inventory. So here we've got, that is what I'll be carrying on my back. So my pack is there. I use the Phantom 25 litre. Used it this year for the Challenger North, and I'll be using it again for the full spine. It's comfy, I'm used to it, I know where everything sits. That's all the kit I will be carrying in my bag. Everything from sleeping bag, bivy bag, to a woolly hat, to my gas and my stove, to a map, to a compass. The kit list is 30 pages long. It's extensive, but it's extensive for a reason. It's to keep you safe in the winter on the mountains. Over here is the drop bag process. So obviously I need a change at every checkpoint if it's wet, cold. I need spares for things, otherwise you can be disqualified for not having, if you're not carrying, I don't know, say a head torch. So I've got a spare head torch, my spare socks, my spare waterproofs, my spare mid layers, my spare buffs, gloves, food, you name it, it's down here. So what I'm going to do today is start packing, get my drop bag right. I'll go into depth about some of my kit, so that you can all have a look, and I'll show you just a few tips that I do when I'm packing for spine. Might be helpful. Any questions you've got, just ask. There's a lot of kit, but like I said earlier, it's for our safety. It's a lot to carry, but all adds to fun. And this is a big part of it logistically. You know, it's not just being fit, it's about getting your kit right, knowing it, using it, testing it, knowing how to pack it, when to get it out, when not to get it out. So yeah, join me for a little packing session. I can imagine I'm going to be here most of the day. So one of the most important things on the spine race is your feet, which is a massive priority. You've got to look after them, otherwise your feet go, you're probably going to be out of the race. You can't go that long without it. So I use a lot of Dex Shell socks. It's a mouthful. I believe they're the best you can use. Got a lot of different sizes, a lot of different pairs there. I pair them up with a liner sock. So I have a liner sock on, and then I put my Dex Shell on top. That worked last year, kept my feet nice and warm. Keeps them dry for a period. They are waterproof, but look, like everything, eventually water gets in. But the main thing is it keeps them warm. Keeps them clean as well. So once you get to a checkpoint, you can whip them off and change them. So what I'm going to do is start building up my sock bags first. So what I do is I get some seal bags, just from Lidl, or about 85p, 3 litre ones. And then I put a liner sock in, a Dex Shell. I cut some Kinesology tape up, KT tape, and I put that in for blisters. I put a hypodermic needle in there so I can pop my blisters. So it's just good practice. Yeah, so I'll show you me building one of them up. So that is sock change bag one. I'm going to have 5 of them, one for each checkpoint. well 6, and so I'll carry one on the race. So I've got a pair of liner socks, a pair of waterproof socks, different size cuts of KT tape. So if I've got to fix a blister, I can wrap one around my toe. If I've just got one on the side of my toe, I can stick it on. They're all different sizes, different lengths, so that I've got something to play with. That's a hypodermic needle, so that I can pop any blisters if I need to. In the back I've got a buff. Keep a buff in there. A buff is such a handy tool on the spine, so I could use it to dry my feet. If you're injured, it's a makeshift, like, you know, if you've got a bad knee, you can wrap it around your knee, like a makeshift bandage, sling, whatever. This little stuff, so it comes from, I got it from Amazon. It's called this benzoin tincture. So I got told about it from a friend who knows what he's talking about, and I used it this year. Basically, when I spray that on, if I spray it on my skin, it becomes sticky. So if I'm fixing a blister, I'll spray a bit of that on and then stick the KT tape on. I know the KT tape's sticky, but that just doubles it up and it makes sure that don't move about in your foot and cause you more problems. That's a handy little trick, that. So that's sock change bag 1. So I've got a lot more to build up of them with all that, and then get them in my drop bag. So there we have them. 6 sock change bags. There are 1 for each checkpoint, and then a spare in case anything goes wrong. I've got 1 for my bag as well, which is over with all my bag stuff. So I will now put them in a carrier bag. They're all in waterproof bags. Wrap them up, put it into my drop bag. Feet looked after. Next up is my gloves. So the other end. So we've got liner gloves, a few pairs of them, 5. Got 5 pair of liner gloves, so I could change it every checkpoint if I wanted to. Got a nice big pair of Thinsulate bad boys there. Actually found them, washed them, like brand new. Amazing what you get on dog walks. Lovely though, I guess it's cold and dry. I've got some waterproof ones, so 2 pairs, mitts and gloves. So my plan is the liner glove onto my hand, and then a nice waterproof overlay on top to keep them warm and dry. If it's really cold, I have got these little bad boys, little hotties. I've got plenty of them. I'll put one of them in each pack. Every time I leave the checkpoint, I'll make sure I have a few of them on me, just in case it gets silly and they go in between the liner and the waterproof one, just to keep my hands toasty. The ones I'll be carrying in my pack, I will carry a Montane liner glove, and I will carry these, which are Montane Prism mitts, warm and waterproof. Best glove I've ever worn, really. I used that the whole way last year because they stayed warm and dry, so I will be doing the same this year. They're just spares. Yep, that's my hand setup. We've got the mid layers next, so carrying 3 of the warmer ones with me. So I've got an Encore. This is probably my favourite one. It's brilliant. With a good base layer under that, it wicks away your sweat. It is fantastic. Stays warm even when it is wet, and it's really lightweight. Packs really small. Got an Alp kit one. It's very similar, to be fair, to the Core. It's good when it's wet. It's a nice little fleecy liner. So that's going in. Packs small, nice lightweight. Quite a bigger one now, so the Montane, I think it's the Proteum, is it? That's really nice and fleecy. It's a little bit heavier. Yeah, that keeps you lovely and warm. That's for when it gets really cold, so probably wear that overnight. So I'm going to throw them in. They'll go in my drop bag, then I can choose which one I want to wear when I get to a checkpoint. I will be carrying some, but they're insulated, so like I've got a Montane Prism Ultra there. That packs up really small, it's really light. That's Primaloft, it's lovely and warm, that, but I'm going to carry that in my bag because it's lightest. It's about 200 grams, I mean, honestly, it's lovely. So yeah, that's the mid layers, so I'm going to put them in a dry bag now, because obviously I don't want my clothes getting wet. So I'm going to stick them in that dry bag and then put them in a plastic bag and add them to Santa's sack. Next up, we've got waterproof, windproof, like an outer layer. I've got quite a few different options here. So I've got, you know, weather-wise, this Mont Blanc windproof here is really thin. It's like paper, but it's amazing how warm that keeps you. Just, you know, when it's a bit chilly, there's a bit of wind going on the tops. If you've got a decent base layer and a decent mid layer, and that's your outer layer, keeps you lovely and warm. Screws up to the size of an orange. That'll probably stay on my pack. And then I've got nice can't remember what it is, this one. Schmock, is it? That's not really good waterproof. That's light as well, packs down small. But yeah, that's just for light rain, bit of drizzle, you know, or if it's just misty, keeps you nice and dry and warm and windproof. Same again with this one, it's very similar to that one. It's an Alt Kit Gravitas. That'll be the last one I use if I need to use that. And then if weather gets really bad, I've got a bomb proof. It's a Columbia Out Dry, I believe. I got it last year. It's like wearing a black bin liner, but my god, it is a good bit of kit. Packs down into its own pocket, nice and small. You can see it's got like a bin liner reflection, but that's a good bit of kit. It's really good, so that'll be if the weather turns really bad. So obviously that'll go in my drop bag. As the waterproof I will be carrying in my pack is the Montane Phase. I got it a couple of months ago. I've been walking dog in it and doing recce's in it and my runs. It's a great bit of kit. Pack's small, it's light, it's Gore-Tex. It's not, I wouldn't say it's as bomb proof as my Columbia Out Dry, but it's lighter, does the job. If it, you know, if a spontaneous rain event comes, which is very possible on this sort of race, that'll be more than sufficient. If I get that in my bag, it'll keep me dry until I get to a checkpoint and I can put my bomb proof stuff on. But that is what I'll be carrying on the day. That's my outer layers packed up into nice little neat balls. Alt Kit Columbia. I'm going to carry that in my pack. It's that light, it weighs nothing. I'm going to take that, so that's going with that lot. Of course, you know, if it's a bit breezy on tops, I can just whip that out, put it on. It's another layer in it, so always got to be warm. Base layers. So the thing closest to your body, I have got the Montane Darts. I love these tops. They're so warm. I think I've got 4 of them, and then I've got an Innovate, nice long Innovate one, an Adidas one. I changed my base layer at every checkpoint last time, and I'll be doing the same again this time. It's essential to be dry, warm, and that's your main thing. It wicks your sweat away from your body, and then it soaks into that top, into your mid layer, keeps it away from your body. You stay warm. So it's essential to get a good one. Then Montane Darts for me, I'd recommend them to anybody. They're pretty cheap on sportshoes.com and not sponsored. Yeah, they're a brilliant bit of kit. Warm, they fit well, they're light. Yeah, they're not a bad price. So yeah, if you're looking for a base layer for hiking, running, all like that, cycling, it's a good bit. As for base layers, they are wrapped up, put them in a dry bag, and I'm going to put them in a plastic bag into there. First aid kits now, so that's the first aid kit I will carry with me in my bag. That's all bagged up, ready to go. Spares, I've got spares for everything just in case, and you have got to, according to the kit check this year. So the first aid kit check is 3 pages long. It's got everything really, from scalpels, hypodermic needles, KT tape, bandages, tablets. Still got a few things to get, so I've wrote a little list, and that'll remind me I still need some paracetamol, some Diorite, so I'll be filling them up this week, but they're halfway there. Bottom base layers. So I'm carrying a merino wool pair, which are silly warm, icebreaker, therefore when it gets really cold. They're a nice pair. I wore them last year for the last bit when it was cold over Cheviot's. These are the Calenges from Decathlon. Now they're only £15, but they're a great bit of kit. I wore the whole way last year till Bellingham, so I changed into them and they were fine. I've got another 2 pairs of them coming this week that I ordered online on Friday, so I'll be packing them when they arrive. But yeah, they're my go-to. There were no need for any fancy 80 quidders. I had to throw a few pairs away last year because I've fallen over them, ripped them, so that's why I've had to order some more. But yeah, the Kalenji, 15 quid, they're warm, nice and fleecy on the inside. Got a little pocket for your phone as well, nice and handy. So recommend. So I'm just going to be a little bit geeky here. So I've got my weighing scales out. I've got the 2 base layers that I was just talking about. So I'm going to see which one's lightest to see which one I'm carrying in my pack, because I haven't decided yet. So we'll go with the merino wool ones first. They are 255 grams. Pack up small on that one, so I've done it properly. And these are the Kalenji ones from Decathlon. 219 grams. So we are carrying the Decathlon specials. Next up is my sleep kit for checkpoints. So I don't use the sleep kit that I carry in my pack on the checkpoints because I pack that up so small, so tight. I put my sleeping bag in my bivvy. I don't want to be messing about at checkpoints trying to get it out. So what I've done is, this is the sleeping bag that I'm using at checkpoints. So that's the Hyperion Thermarest. The Thermarest Hyperion. It's crazy good. It's rated down to 0, and it packs so small and light. There you go. Look, the Thermarest Hyperion. It's a beauty. So that is my sleeping bag for my pack. I use an Outkit bivvy, which I put the sleeping bag inside my bivvy and then roll it up. So if I need to sleep in an emergency or I'm quick, I'm tired, I don't have to mess about, I can just whip it out, roll it out and jump in instead of putting my sleeping bag in my bivvy on the night. So yeah, and then I've got my sleeping pack, which is also Thermarest. So for checkpoints, and what I'll carry in my drop bag is a separate one so that I'm not messing with that in my pack. So I'll carry, this is an Outkit Pipe Dream 400, nice warm sleeping bag. Obviously it's heavy, it's heavier than my Thermarest, so that's why I don't carry it in my pack. And then just a sleeping mat that I take on my bike packing adventures, got off Amazon. It's decent, it's not amazing, but for a couple of hours at a checkpoint, if I even get that much, that is what I'll be using. So yeah, spare sleep kit essential. Important bit, my spare electrics and charging items. So I'm going to carry the Anker charging thing, what's it called, power bank. That is 2 USBs and a little USB mini. So that'll charge my phone, my watch and my head torch and my GPS if needed. So I can charge 3 at once with that, which is good. And then I'll take plugs as well, just in case there's a plug spare in checkpoint, but that's not always the case. If it's a busy checkpoint, there's not always plugs available, so a power bank's essential. They do last a long time. It's about a 20,000 milliamp thing or something. Go from Anker, it's decent. Spare head torch, Phoenix HM65RT. They are my favourite head torches. That's what I'll be using on the spine. I've got it in my kit and at my spare. They're worth investing in. They're a great torch. Batteries last forever. They've got 2 lights, 1 spotlight, 1 like white light, 3 intensities on them both, and it's absolute brilliant bit of kit. It tightens by a boa, so you can have it as loose or as tight as you want, easy to get on and off. So yeah, I definitely recommend. And I've got spare batteries for them. They've both got a fully charged battery, and I will charge them, but spare in case what happens. Got a spare red light for my pack. You've got to have an LED red light on your pack. And then I've got some stuff to put in there, so I've got made myself a little list. So I need some spare AAs for my GPS, and then my chargers, but obviously I'll be charging my phone for next week, so I'll need it up to time, but I can half pack it. That's electrics. So as you can see, that mess that I had this morning is now a bit more organised. So I've got everything that was on the floor, and now I've got that packed up now into my drop bag. All in dry bags and then inside carrier bags, just for a bit of extra protection. I've got my list of what I need to do at checkpoints, because after 100 odd miles you do forget and you do get tired and your brain don't work, so a nice list of what to do helps. And then I've got a list of everything that still needs to go in, because still quite a bit missing. Not major, you know, like paracetamols, spare batteries, and then the last thing that I'll do is my food. I'll do that towards the end of the week, just before I set off really, so it's all fresh and it's not squashed in my bag for a week. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That's a drop bag pretty much there. That's a huge weight off my shoulders for this week. And then my pack stuff, I'm not going to repack that now. I will repack that on Saturday, so the day before I set off, after my kit check. I will take all the stuff in my pack for kit check in this plastic box, all unpacked, so that if I get a full kit check like I did this year, I can just start getting it out of my box instead of unpacking it out of these dry bags when it's all nice and tight. So after kit check, then I'll go back to my Airbnb on Saturday and I will pack everything one final time, nice and tight. So that's why it's still out, and I'll throw it in there for the weekend, ready to unpack. Ready for my kit check, which is the scariest bit, but it's essential. But it is worrying, his kit check. You're always like, oh, what if I'm going to fail, even though you know you're not, because you know you've got it over it. But look, it's always in the back of your mind that something might fail, which I didn't last year. Passed with flying colours, and I did get a full kit check. It did take a while, but look, I was a bit miffed when I first got it. I thought, God's sake, it's going to be a nightmare. But it gave me a chance to repack, which really helped me. You know, my peace of mind, and just I packed it the tightest I've ever packed it. It was best it had been packed because it was the day before. So yeah, I won't mind if I get another one again this year. So yeah, food. I've already started, you know, buying bits. Well, I've got loads. Got a delivery coming from X Miles tomorrow. Yeah, it's coming tomorrow. It's got all my sports nutrition, and then I'll get all my real food, which I call it on the kit check, over the next week. Potatoes and my crisps and my chocolates and stuff like that. So yeah, we're getting there, guys. It was nearly this time in 7 days. I will be well into it. It'll be 3:30, and I'll be well on my way to. Well, I won't be well on my way to Scotland. I'll be well on my way to Hebden, the first checkpoint, where I will be having a nice cup of tea, bit of food, and hopefully moving through that checkpoint nice and quickly. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you've got a couple of insights off it about what goes into packing. This is the biggest logistical bit, and it's a nightmare, but it's needed, and the better prepared you are, you know, the more chance you've got of succeeding on finishing the spine. There's no worse than being unorganised with your kit. Any questions about it, drop me a message. If you think I'm doing something wrong, let me know. I'd love to improve all the time. So yeah, thank you. Please like it, subscribe it, share it with your mates. Be great. Thank you.